Hi guys, I'm Ashley, owner of Grace and Goods Boutique.
And I'm Shelby, the owner of the Aria Event Studio.
And this is the Business Bestie Podcast.
All right, well, welcome. Good morning. Happy Monday. So we are so excited today. We have Nathan here, the co-owner of the Fairfield. So we are super excited to have you here joining us. Okay, I do have a quick question before we get into everything.
Thank you for having me.
Do you go by Nate or Nathan?
Honestly, I've been called so many different things.
Okay.
A lot of people call me Newport because it's my last name, but Nathan's fine.
Okay,
yeah.
Perfect. That's what I call you, and I was talking to somebody else about you, and they were like, who? And they were like, oh, Nate. And I'm like, okay, well, it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So I would like to kind of just start off by getting to know you just a smidge. So were you an entrepreneur before you started the Fairfield?
Yes, I've always been intrigued by business. Mm-hmm. My dad was a general contractor, so I grew up in around construction. I've had several businesses myself. I did an Amazon business for a while, online retail arbitrage. I have flipped homes and renovated homes. I've done rentals, but I've always been entrepreneurial. I worked at Costco for 15 years.
Oh, wow.
So until about 8 months ago, the whole time we were under construction with the Fairfield, I was at Costco Wholesale. I was the assistant general manager at that location.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I worked there. It was a college job for me in Chico, California. I played college basketball in Northern California, and it was my college job. I moved back home because my wife and I have 3 kids. Let's go be around family, and I just kept moving up at Costco because it was brand new to the Midwest.
Yeah,
but in California, it was in California, that's where everybody shops. So
okay.
It was such a different level that when I got here, it was just, like I said, I just continued to get promoted. It's a huge blessing. But then I fell in love with the Fairfield project and left about 8 months ago. So I was waking up at 2:30 in the morning.
Oh my goodness.
I had to be at work. I had to open the store, so I was at work at 3:30 in the morning.
Oh my goodness.
And then I would work until 1 or 2 in the afternoon, and then go right up to the building and then continue
Then
that.
be there all day.
And that's how it was for 2.5 years.
Wow.
It was a lot.
Major sacrifice for sure.
Major sacrifice, yeah.
So we got Costco here, I don't know what,
5
years ago. I've actually never been in there. I go to Sam's Club, but
I'm a Costco girl.
me and my husband, we drive by and we joke all the time because there are always at least 500 cars there.
It's so busy.
And I'm like, are there really that many people there all day, every day? I joke, I said, it's probably, they're holographic. They're not real. There's no way there's not even many people in Fort Wayne, but it's just crazy all the time.
It's 200 to 400 people every half an hour going through the doors.
That's insane.
I know that because we click them in.
I just know
That
to
is
avoid
wild.
going there on Friday evenings
Yeah.
and Sundays because those are the 2 worst
Well, I don't
times.
go anywhere on Sunday anyways, but yeah.
So a little background.
Yeah.
So Nathan, have you always known you wanted to be an entrepreneur, or what sparked that in you?
I think it's just severe ADHD, right? It's just I'm just geared up, ready to go. My mind's always kind of, working. I'm thinking about different things. Honestly, I just love people and I love business, and those 2 things kind of go hand in hand. So that's what's funny about the Fairfield project. I'm sure we'll get into it, but there was no vision board on the Fairfield. We weren't searching for that. It just happened organically. We fell in love with the business or the building, and we're like, what can we do here that makes sense? But that wasn't something we were looking for. It just happened.
Yeah. Which is sometimes the best.
100%.
Because you have no expectations,
Right.
Not really any goals, and it just kind of can all just happen naturally.
Organic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I know when I opened my space, I had to jump through a lot of hurdles, way more than I thought I was even going to have to with my tiny little space here. So I can't imagine the Fairfield and old building downtown. What were some of the major hurdles that you guys had?
It was a nightmare, to be honest with you. First of all, the building had 3 to 4 demo orders on it. The city was going to tear the building down.
Oh my gosh.
Because it was deemed unsafe.
Okay.
As soon as we purchased it, they came in and condemned the building. So then we had to deal with getting it out of a condemned status, which was very difficult because when we got the building, there was a giant hole in the roof.
Oh my goodness.
Every time it would rain, and it's 4 stories, right? So every time it would rain, all the water would go all the way down to the basement, which means it hit every single floor. So if it was just straight construction, not dealing with the city on, permits and all the stuff, we would have had the project done in a year. Because we had to deal with everything that we dealt with, it was like a 2.5-year project.
That's wild.
Yes.
That's crazy. Yeah. Dealing with permits and construction and even, contractors and schedules and everything, especially because I'm sure you had so many people involved. It can definitely be a nightmare.
Well, what's crazy is, and a lot of people don't think about this, so we demoed everything out of the building. So we literally just kept the shell, even the windows, because the windows were all plywood. Everything in the building is brand new, but then everything underneath the ground level is all brand new too. So like 3 different grease traps, the water lines, the gas lines, like all of that's brand new. And you're talking about major construction. Like I've got pictures where there's like 20-foot holes that are, 20 by 10 where they're putting in the grease traps. Like you don't even think about the stuff that goes on underneath.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's not just some new paint and new flooring and
it was
a few
nuts.
Little things. Yeah, that is crazy. I had the pleasure of working with you on a networking event that you hosted a couple months back for the Golf Social.
Yeah.
So what was kind of the inspiration behind those events?
I just look at our golf member base and it's like 95% men. And I just started questioning it, like why are there so many men here? And I started to talk to women and I was like, hey, what's preventing you from playing golf, or why don't you play golf? And there were just like factors, like barriers that were in the way. It was like, well, the kids, or well, I work, or I've always wanted to play and I've got the time to play now, but I never played, because of, those barriers. I'm like, well, we really need to fix that. Like we have this beautiful space, and it slows down a lot in the spring and the summertime because, people want to be outside playing outdoor golf. I'm like, well, that's a good opportunity for people that have, always wanted to play, women that have always wanted to play, to come in. And then I've got 2 golf pros on staff. Like they can teach you how to play golf. You can gain the confidence indoors. And then now you feel comfortable and confident to go outdoors because everyone thinks I play golf all the time. I have probably hit maybe 30 balls on those sims the entire time that we've had them. I never play golf. I'm terrible at golf. And like for me to go out on a golf course, like I say no to a lot of golf, invites because I don't want to get out there and embarrass myself. I don't play enough, right? So, for a woman to go out there and play on a golf course, it's the same thing, right? There has to be confidence to get out there and swing with, 3 to 5 guys that play all the time, in order to be able to go out there and play. But then the other factor of that is, and we all know this to be true, there's a lot of business that happens on the golf course, a lot, right? And so, with women who already aren't, playing on the course, then there are women obviously that play on the course, but the percentage are stacked in the favor of the men. They're missing out on conversations out on the course from a business standpoint too. So I'm like, hey, this is a good opportunity for us to get people in, use our sims, and then for them to get out there and be able to play, have fun, and then have those business conversations.
Yeah, I love that. Well, and I love how you kind of made it kind of like a networking thing as well, so other women can connect in more of a social setting versus out on the course too. So I really enjoyed it.
What was funny, and you said that to me, like, hey, I think after the first one, like the social aspect, and I really was watching. The women are so much more fun than the men. Yeah. Like they're just laughing, they're hanging out, they're hitting the ball, they're drinking cocktails, and it's just such a fun group. The guys are just like, they have their beer, they're talking trash to each other. But the women, it was just so much more social.
Yes.
You could just feel like that family atmosphere, and I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was. I really enjoyed it a lot, and I feel like we had women because we kind of got put in groups. But I did notice people kind of moving around too once they got comfortable and trying to meet women in other sims. So that was really awesome. Do you have plans for more of those in the future? Yeah, we want to do more. We're like, how it is, like first year in business, like you kind of really try and find your flow. So we're going to do, we're about to announce it tomorrow, a couple golf leagues. We're really going to reach back out to those women that were part of that golf invitational, see if they want to come and play. We're going to do a ladies league also, and then we're going to do more of those social events because it was just so fun. It was a lot of fun. Perfect. I can't wait for this.
Well, speaking of social events or community-based events, I think it's important to host those at your business to not only get your name out there, but to draw in the community.
Yeah.
What do you think is the most important aspect of hosting those events?
So for us, it's like you said, it's awareness for especially the first like 18 months. But for us, like we love to see, just different demographics in the space. Like we never wanted to corner ourselves to like one demographic. Like literally, I have a 103-year-old that has done 4 events with us on Pinhouse Social.
Oh my gosh.
She comes in, she just booked yesterday. She comes and bowls with a group of friends. And then I've got, 3-year-olds, with their family that are bowling. And, all of this, like, different sexes and like all different people at our business. And I think from an event standpoint, that's a win, because like you're not cornering yourself to one demographic. It's like, it's family friendly, 103-year-old friendly.
Yeah.
So this is cool.
I hope I'm still bowling at 100.
Right?
I know.
That would be
I know.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and you kind of also get that aspect of like, because you have a wedding venue at the very top as well. So you get those celebrations too with people getting married and making those memories, along with then just your kind of everyday people who are coming in and also making memories too as families and
So
friends.
do either of you know Kelly Geyser? She's our wedding event scout.
Yes, I do believe I've met her. Yeah.
She said something one time, and I've used it 1,000 times since. She said that our building is your once in a lifetime and your everyday. And I was like, that's exactly what it is.
It really is.
Yeah. And I was like, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
And we all know how important a wedding day is to people, so that
Yes.
carries a lot of weight.
It does.
Yeah.
Yes. So we talk a lot on the show about being moms and being wives and being entrepreneurs. But obviously there's the other side of being a dad and being a husband and being an entrepreneur as well. So how has your family kind of influenced the way you run your business?
Well, so, I'll be very transparent. Like the last 3 years have been so difficult, right? Like, I mean, when I just talk about the schedule of going to work at, 3 in the morning and then being up, till 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, working on all this, like, I told my wife, like, how thankful I am for her because she really like took a back seat. Not like in a sense of like, I'm putting her in a back seat. Like my mind was it still is, I struggle with this. My mind is so focused on the business that, it creates like a relationship struggle. And my wife and I, like we're going through therapy and like really working on like how I can be more present and in the now when there's 10 million things going on. So it's been a real struggle for me personally. I think that her and I are in a much better place. Like we kind of see the light and we're like heading towards it. But man, what we just put ourselves through for the last 3 years was so hard. It's so, I mean, just running
It's
a
not
business,
easy.
it's so hard,
Running a business is crazy when you have a family. I just have one daughter and I bring her along with me all the time. And I constantly am guilty about it because even though we're together, when she comes here with me and I have a tour or whatnot, she's, just sitting on her iPad. And so I have that guilt. And yeah, I mean, my mind is constantly on the business, even when I'm home making dinner or we're sitting and watching TV and my husband's next to me and I'm making reels and he's like, are you really making a reel right now? We're watching a show. He's like, I've heard that song play 6 times in a row. Can you turn your volume down? I'm like, I can't help it. I can't stop. So it's amazing though that you have a partner that is, understanding and willing to, work through that because I'm sure that is hard for that other spouse on the other side.
That's the entrepreneur brain, right?
Yeah,
it never shuts off.
it doesn't.
You're laying in bed, it's midnight, and you get the biggest idea ever. And guess what? You're up till 3 a.m. because you have to finish it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand that, and I live that too.
It's a wild ride.
It is. So, being an entrepreneur and opening your own business can be scary, right? Did you have any of those fears when you were opening the Fairfield? And if so, what were they and how did you overcome them?
Well, the biggest fear is costs, right? Because it's a big building and any added cost is significant when you're dealing with 40,000 square feet, right? So my business partner and I took everything in our lives that we've worked the last 15 years for and we leveraged it against this project. So like we literally, our houses, our cars, any assets that we've acquired, I'm pretty confident that the bank would take our dogs at this point, so it's like, you're all in. So it's always the debt servicing and that's like the scariest part. And then we have around 80 employees. You know, so
Wow.
we have a big payroll too. So we have a lot of expenses that we have to cover every single month. And you know, that's the hardest part about being a new business and why awareness is so important. Because like, we have to have people come in buying burgers, doing events in order for us to be able to, you know, cover our debt and pay our employees. But for us, our motto is keep the lights on, pay the employees, you know, get through these first 3 years. And then we think that, you know, a lot of good things will happen. As long as we can just offer really great service, have really great prices, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Well, you have amazing prices. I've told so many people this. I literally don't ever go downtown, but I've come downtown for lunch just to come to your space just to eat. And like, I haven't, you know, we've bowled a couple times, but we've literally come down just for lunch because your prices are amazing. At the golf social, I was sitting there with Jordan and we got our bill and I was like, I don't think this is right. And we looked at the menu and she was like, oh my gosh, that burger really is only $10.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm coming down here every day.
Yeah.
They talked about it for like 2 weeks.
We did. We couldn't believe the prices because, you know, everything obviously is more expensive these days. And when you go out to eat, it can get very expensive, especially when you go out with a family, a big family. So it's nice to have that.
Well, and the thing about that is, you know, we had to be very strategic about that because nobody ever says, honey, let's go out to dinner at the golf simulator place.
Right.
You know, like
Yeah.
no one ever says that.
Yeah.
So we had to price ourselves strategically because we wanted the restaurant business as well. We didn't want people just to come down and think like, I can only do the golf simulators, which in the beginning was like, oh, I can just sit at the bar. Yeah, you can just sit at the bar and eat and drink. So we price ourselves like, you know, that way intentionally. But $10 double burger, and I'm biased, but I'm telling you it's the best smash burger in
That's
town.
what she
Like
said.
It
is
actually
so
really
good.
is.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good. And
love
we
a good
hand make
smash
all
burger.
of the sauces too. All the sauces are handmade. Like they're not buying ranch from Kroger. Like this is like all handmade stuff.
Yeah.
So they did a great job.
I love
Homemade
it.
Yeah.
ranch is the best.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
All right, so obviously the Fairfield is a big business idea. So if someone has a big business idea, what kind of advice would you give them if they don't know where to start or where to look?
So I've learned so much throughout this process, and just to be very transparent, this is not all stuff I knew before, okay? Like a lot of this was learned on the fly. So if you're opening a new business or you have a business idea, like you don't know everything and that's okay, right? But there's so many resources out there to help new businesses, and our town specifically has a lot of great resources. So Greater Fort Wayne, great resource. The SBA, okay, if you're a small business and you're looking for a loan, oh my goodness, SBA has so many programs that are just fantastic. There's a program with the SBA through, it's called the ISBDC. And the gentleman that I've worked with, his name is Wes, and he used to be in commercial banking. Well, they have all of this access to back-end data that we can't get, right? They have it because they have these portals where they can pull business data on other businesses. But he helped me build out projections for our business that I could then take to the bank and then showcase to the bank, look, here's the raw data, right? These are what these other concepts are doing. You know, now you're just taking your debt and you're measuring it against what you think that you can do in sales and, you know, do they line up? Like, is it a profitable endeavor? So like the ISBDC, I would recommend anybody that's starting a business, like, man, like they'll give you 3 to 5 year breakdowns on your business, like based on real data. So, and even if you've got conceptual ideas, you know, a good example is us. Like, I've never seen a place that has a wedding venue, golf simulators, and duck pin bowling. I've never seen that, right? But there are places that have duck pin. There are places that have golf simulators. There are places that are wedding venues, right? So we just took all 3 of those businesses and we merged it into one and treated each for like its own business.
Yeah.
And so like ISBDC is great. Greater Fort Wayne is great. And then the other thing is, it's amazing how businesses like to talk about themselves, right? So I have called and gone to, you know, probably 10 plus golf simulator places, places that had bowling and duck pin lanes, and I just talked to the owners. Like, hey, what are the pitfalls? You know, you guys know Catablue and Club Soda? Okay, so Maureen, who owns Catablue, Curtis, who does the catering for Club Soda, 3 years ago, I had them come up to the 3rd floor. And I said, walk the space with us. Like, give me all the pain points of it from a caterer standpoint, from a hospitality standpoint. They helped us design out that whole floor. They didn't make any money by doing that. Like, they just wanted to help a young entrepreneur. So, I mean, I think that reaching out to our business community is very valuable. You know, any business leader, and this is my opinion, any business leader that turns down an entrepreneur who has questions, shame on you. Like, you should be reaching your hand down, helping next group up. So that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like our motto for this podcast. That's why we started this podcast, to give an outlet where we can share our experience or other people's experience, and our listeners can learn things that maybe they wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then feel comfortable reaching out too, if
Yeah.
they need help or have questions.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yep. Well, on a more lighter note, since that got a little serious, you throw a lot of events. You have a huge space. If you had an unlimited budget and could throw any type of event, what would that look like at the Fairfield?
Any type of event, man, I used to play a lot of poker, and I want to do this like black tie poker event with like some like jazz speakeasy feel,
Okay.
like really cool cocktails, almost like James Bondish, like just
Okay,
like.
we need to talk because
That's like her dream too.
yeah, I love poker. I come from a very poker family, and so that sounds amazing.
Yeah, that's the event that I want to do. We haven't put it on our calendar, but I want to do something like that. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
My dad would be there.
I know
He's
an
a big poker
amazing
person,
company
too.
called Little Vegas.
Oh, I know Christy.
Big
Yeah.
Christy, so
Yeah.
maybe we'll be calling Christy.
Yeah, there you go. I like that. That'd be a cool collab.
So where do you see the Fairfield in 5 years? Are there any things you're hoping or looking to add to it that you want to share?
Art
If you
secret.
can.
Yeah.
So I talked to my business partner yesterday. I have this idea. I can't disclose it yet, so stay tuned. Maybe what I'll do is like once we go to disclose, I'll come back and we'll.
And then we can do another episode, and you can share with us.
Yes, yeah. But
Perfect.
yeah, there is some add-ons that we have down the line that we want to be able to do construction-wise,
Okay.
like add-on space.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So,
Well, I can't wait.
But yeah, for 5 years, I think right now our biggest focus is everybody that walks through those doors, we greet them, we treat them right, we offer great prices and service, and they really get to know our employees. We want to retain our staff. It's so comforting when you go. Cataboo is a great example of this. Okay, my wife and I love to go there. There's a bartender duo, Trent and Ashley, that we see, and we've seen them there for like 7 years, right? And it's so nice to go to a business and you see the same people. It's just comforting. Like, that's my goal for the Fairfield too. Like, anyone that we hire, we're trying to retire them. And like that's kind of our goal. So
I like that, because when you get into a business and it's got a high turnover rate for employees, you start to question, why is everybody leaving?
Why is
Yes.
everybody leaving?
That's a
Yeah.
good point.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So tell everyone, maybe somebody who hasn't been to the Fairfield, in a nutshell, what are you, who are you, and then where can they find you guys on socials?
So we're an event business essentially that allows once in a lifetime events and everyday events. Third floor is the wedding and event floor, holds 400 people. Second floor, 8 golf simulators. You can come, like I said, and just eat and drink and hang out. We got full service bar, a 3-way liquor license, so from cocktails to beers. But that is just a cool space. What's cool in those Sims too is they're multi-sport. So if you're not a golfer and you want to just bring your kids, like we have this cool Pirates game where you're throwing like dodgeballs at the screen, but baseball, football, mini putt, like there's a bunch of different things that you can do on those Sims. First floor duck pin bowling. We've got a cornhole area and bocce ball court that's free. That was very important to us. We wanted people to be able to go out on a date night and not have the burden of having to pay for everything. But then we've got 8 lanes of duck pin bowling, pinball machines, and a little cool dartsy area. And then the basement, 2 private karaoke rooms that hold 20 plus people, and then another private event space that holds about 150 people. So all in all, like, we're this collaborative event space that you can come in every day of the weekend and just enjoy a date night or just watch a sports game.
Perfect. And where's the Fairfield located?
Downtown, we're right across from Parkview Field. We're like a couple blocks, takes about 2 minutes to walk from the baseball stadium to our facility. So we're right in between Electric Works and the ballpark. So right in between. And then as far as finding us, you can find us at on our website, which is thefairfieldfw.com, or you can follow us on social media.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Awesome.
you guys make sure to go check it out. It is a one-of-a-kind place here in Fort Wayne. Shelby's been there. I have not.
Yes.
Yeah, I have to get in there.
I know. I was telling you. I was like, you got to go. I'm in a wedding at the Fairfield in October, and I am so excited because
gonna be a lot
I'm
of
like, we
fun.
get to party and we get to, like, I think we're gonna do some golf
Oh, that's
and
cool.
then maybe do some bowling and then go
Can you use the karaoke rooms?
I don't know, can we?
Yeah, you guys
Oh
can.
my goodness, that would be so much fun.
Right?
Can I say one thing?
Yes, of course.
I just want, I love relationships. I love like just people, and it's been so cool to create like this friendship. And your support's been a big deal to us. Like we're, talking as a team, like how we can facilitate and support you guys. And to me, that's the coolest thing about like what we're all doing is like, I love the business women stuff that you guys are doing. I love the best friend thing that you guys just posted. Like, I think that you guys are hitting it on the head from a community standpoint. Like you get it. It's a collaborative effort. And when businesses really work together, it's like the community likes that too.
Yeah, they see it.
Yes, they see it. And you guys are doing such a good job with that. I love what you guys are doing.
Well,
Thank you
right,
very
because
much.
there's so many events that happen every weekend all year round, and I can only hold 1 to 2 events a day here. And so I've definitely recommended the Barrel Room several times, especially when people come in and they have 100 and I can't accommodate that. So like, where's the next best space? Well, let's send them to the Fairfield. So there's no reason to gatekeep.
Right.
No.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
spending your time with us.
No problem.
Make sure you guys tune in every Monday at 8 a.m. to catch our podcast. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you next Monday.
Have a great week.